Well, you heard my thoughts about 2011's best in film, and now you're going to hear me rant and rave about the worst. Where am I going to start? I think I'm going to start with the first one I'm going to start about with is the movie that I wanted so badly, especially when I heard that it got negative reviews beforehand, like pre-screenings and all that. I wanted so badly to do even mediocrely, or like mediocrely, whatever. What I don't care about how you pronounce it. I just wanted it to be at least borderline decent, and it was just barely that, and that was from me. I was like, I kind of want to give this movie a bit more credit because it had the guts to do what it did. So that movie is Green Lantern. I don't know where this movie, it was, I don't understand what it was about Green Lantern. Like, okay, as I was talking about with concept, I mentioned that with Captain America. Green Lantern. You're pitching this story to a studio. A bunch of aliens who serve as guardians and protectors of law and order in the universe are meant to, they have these power rings. They can construct anything with their imagination. It's all a mixture of like kind of magic and science and all that stuff. And then they incorporate it into our world through Hal Jordan. And it's Ryan Reynolds playing Hal Jordan. I don't think there was a single element to this movie that had something that it was going for, that really could have done well. And it failed flat on its face. Ryan Reynolds is Hal Jordan. You've at least, even if you don't like, even if you don't like Ryan Reynolds as an actor, you can at least say that they're trying to make it both a comedic tone by making him cocky but funny. They're trying to make him the kind of Chris Evans, Johnny Storm type. You can say whatever you want about Chris Evans too, but you know what I mean. There's a method to the casting, even if you don't like him. I would almost half argue that Ryan Reynolds should have been ad-libbing half of his lines in this movie, because the script here was just not working for him. They really were just going for stuff that they're like, yeah, so on the day when Ryan is going to be funny, or on the day that Ryan's prepared to act funny, we're going to give him something dramatic. On the day that Ryan's going to be dramatic, we're going to give him something funny. Like, it literally is this bizarro universe of directing here, because I almost believe that this movie was intentionally trying to be lame. I'm not kidding you, because there was stuff here that could have worked. And when I say could, I mean should have worked. Not, oh, that's a cool idea, I hope it goes well. No. Cool ideas was going for a good execution and then totally walks right off a cliff. Parallax. You could have done so many good things with Parallax. No, he sucked. Hector Hammond shouldn't have been in there at all. But we're going to focus on him. All these aliens and stuff like that. They don't focus on the freaking Green Lanterns. They barely do. They glance over them. All these actors, aside from Mark Strong and Ryan Reynolds, they look like they're like just waiting for their frigging paychecks. Like it's paining them to act in this movie. Three Musketeers. I think this was the other movie I saw in 3D this year. I saw it with a friend of mine, and we saw it in one of those like kind of pimped out movie theaters. It wasn't IMAX, but it was like they were like marketing this like kind of specific theater as like impressive sound quality, reserved seating. You get more comfortable seating too. So that was probably the thing that made me say, oh yeah, let's check it out and let's go see Three Musketeers. It was the theater more than the movie itself. And yeah, this movie was so freaking lame. I saw a Wishbone episode. You know Wishbone, the talking dog who reread all those like classic pieces of literature like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera. I think I enjoyed the Wishbone episode more than this movie. They really didn't do anything interesting with the Three Musketeers. That wasn't anything like, oh yeah, let's make them like Black Ops guys, like they're spies for France. Yeah, any idiot could have done that and made it. And they didn't really make it kid friendly. Like they didn't know what audience they were playing with. They didn't know what to go for. And 3D was nah. And they couldn't settle on a villain. It just felt like a very awkward direction because they didn't know what to focus on. Okay, this is got to be the first, one of the most painful movies of this year. But I was laughing through half of it. Transformers, Dark of the Moon. Oh, Michael Bay, you do it again. Well, you half did it because, you know, Michael Bay, what do you go see a Michael Bay movie for? I will give you, well, let's say 3 hints. Explosions and Megan Fox. Megan Fox, they cut her out. So they hire this new blonde girl who might as well have been Megan Fox. After Revenge of the Fallen, you really should have capped the franchise. When you're on the frigging 100 worst movies of IMDb.com, you really need to start thinking, let's move on to a different franchise. Let's exploit something else. A Battleship, for crying out loud. I just saw the trailer for that and I'm already shaking my head. This, though, well, what are we going to do for Sam? Let's make Sam's character arc. He doesn't feel like he's a man. I repeat that. Sam Witwicky, the man who has discovered an alien race, has a car that can shapeshift, has not one, but 2 incredibly hot girlfriends, parents who don't give a crap when he goes to jail and all that stuff, doesn't feel like he matters. Like that alone is like, you know, that's just the frigging, that's the first step to why this movie sucked. But like, it's just like, wow, the script, the writers just aren't even trying anymore. And, you know, it's just so, like, the stuff that was Michael Bay-esque, like, you know, making everything so brutal and all that stuff, just really didn't know when to say, okay, even Michael Bay, I don't think, realized, okay, I think I've shown out what I'm known for. Like, okay, let me put it this way. When you're kind of going for the whole I'm awesome Optimus Prime kind of thing, or all the Transformers, but they're just so ridiculously ruthless to the point of, yeah, blowing people's heads off. And I'm sitting there ready to barf, even though I know that, like I said in my review, imagine if this was a human. You'd be disgusted. It'd be like Saving Private Ryan's opening scene. I'm going to talk about the worst one, because I'm running out of time. I was going to mention Green Hornet, but I think Green Hornet, I said all that I had to in my review of it. This is the one that I walked into. I knew it was going to suck, but I didn't want it to suck like this. I wanted it to be so terrible that it was hilarious. But no. This one was Breaking Dawn Part 1. What do you go to see Twilight for? Seriously, what do you go... Okay, I know what the girls go to see Twilight for. But what do the people, like, you know, the non-critics like myself, like, what do the fans go to see it for? They go to see it just to watch these people go, oh, Bella. Oh, Jacob. Oh, Edward. Oh, Jacob. Oh, Bella. They watch that to, like, watch these so-called tortured teenagers just mope around and act like they're so important, like we should give a rat's ass about them. And this has got to be the weakest installment yet, because it's like, literally, it's just like Michael Bay's, you know, Transformers Dark of the Moon. It's like you're only doing this one because there's another book that you have to cap off the franchise. Really, that's the only thing. I don't feel like I should give a crap about anything that's going on. It's so ridiculously padded out that the story... when you spend what had to be an hour I'm not kidding. An hour at Bella and Edward's honeymoon. Just showing them. What do? Make out, have sex, wake up in bed. Make out, have sex, wake up in bed. Make out, have sex, play chess, wake up in bed. Bella puts on lingerie montage. They go, it's sort of like what Eclipse was, where Eclipse was trying to take itself seriously. It didn't, it had a very radical tone compared to Twilight and New Moon. They went for that here, and it didn't work for Eclipse. Why would you bother trying to do it here? But hey, it's your franchise. You can kill it in whatever way you want. So, yeah, there was just so much here that just was just so bad. And I think when I got to the scene, I don't care if I'm spoiling it. When you get to the scene of Jacob imprinting, and by imprinting I mean becoming romantically obsessed with a newborn baby. Okay, I know that was written into the book, but you could have found a way to somehow make that work and not be creepy. I think I might have seen the execution of Taylor Lautner's career. And, he's working with what he can, but the writers just didn't help. But, it's a lot with these characters. Like, this story is just so bland, and it's just what had to be 2.5 hours of just crap after crap after crap. And nothing you can joke about. Nothing that's keeping you entertained, wanting to even laugh about. Because the only thing that's keeping me awake is the 12-year-olds next to me who are going, oh my gosh, Bella's baby. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, it's got a belly button. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my gosh. Breaking Dawn Part 1. If Breaking Dawn Part 2 is worse than this, may God himself keep me sane, or at least awake, because this is going to be a long, boring movie if it's anything like the direction of Breaking Dawn Part 1. Yeah, I was surprised at this year's style of filmmaking because it really had potential with a lot of these movies, and they just screwed it up. So, yeah, these movies could have had potential, but they just didn't know what to do with it. So I think that 2012 needs a lot better directors, frankly. So that's it on my end. I hope you guys had a good year, and yeah, I'll talk to you later.